Dating is a rich person's game. This is right where I've been telling you dating is going to go. It's already there, but it's now getting there where you can't deny it. Let's get the main event bell sound right quick. All right, main event right here. Dating is a rich person's game. What did I tell you? One thing, I've told you a lot, but I've also said marriage is going to plummet, but I said the elites are going to still marry, which is the upper middle class and up. They're still going to get married and they'll get divorced. They'll get remarried and divorced. It'll be comfortable. They'll negotiate it. It will be a business deal. The man is not just going to give up his money, but if he does, it's money he can give up. Dating is a rich person's game. So is marriage. Okay. For the middle class, and below, it's going to be difficult. The poverty class is still going to marry as well. All right. Because they need each other. So you have migrants, immigrants, they're still going to marry, but it's going to be not what marriage is to us. It's not going to be what marriage is to a regular American. So you will have people, an undocumented Mexican couple in East Los. They'll be married. It's not going to be an ecclesiastical marriage. It's not going to be like, oh, he can't cheat, she can't cheat. It'll just be marriage for survival. Older people will get married, but it won't be the norm. They'll get married and divorced very relatively quickly. Young people are not getting married like that. I showed you the data. It's off a cliff. It's a 50% decrease in married people under 30. And it's going to get lower. So that means young people don't have enough money to date and get married. I'm going to quickly go through this article because I got to do, I got to close up here very soon. It says the problems isn't just the dating apps. People actually can't afford to date. Now, when I say afford to date, this is what the hookup nigga is going to say. Well, I date for free. I get women to date for free. I don't pay. I don't do this and I don't do that. And they come over and blah, blah, blah. That's not dating. We're talking about dating to marry, dating to get to know each other like authentically. And not hooking up. We're not talking about hooking up. It says right here, ask just about anyone what's wrong with modern dating. And they will tell you the same thing. The apps suck. All right. They're built on the pay to win model. Yep. Fewer people are finding partners. We know that. Some studies have even suggested that increased time on dating apps lead to higher depression, anxiety, as well as social media, while also contributing to loneliness among men. Male epidemic. All told, the pursuit of finding love through a swipe can create a generation of burned out, sexless singles, distrusting of dating apps. But the dating apps aren't the only problem, at least not the main one. Research says the cost of dating in 2026 has priced out the average single person. CGA.
Better boss up, nigga.
Cost of dating has priced out the average single person, and the divide in who can afford to date is wider than ever. An overwhelming majority of U.S. singles, 86%, say that money concerns have led them to delay dating or re-enter the dating pool. You see that? It doesn't mean they're not hooking up or having. It means that if they're trying to get into authentically meet a person or date or decide to be celibate or a MGTOW, they're deciding that. 86% say, and I said, what? It's all economic.
Boss up, nigga.
Dating's not free. Relationships aren't free. Hookup is free, but dating is not free. It says right here, a report earlier this year found that dateflation is on the rise, with the average all-in cost of date averaging 12.6% increase in 2026 to $189, a rate that is outpacing the cost of living. It says, and low-income earners are being hit the hardest. 33% of people making under $50K a year say they stopped dating completely.
Better boss up, nigga.
Okay. It says while 15% of people earning over $100K have fully taken a break from dating. That's just not economic either. That's people are focusing on increasing their income. All right. And we also see that Gen Z women are having a tough time choosing love or dating because they're trying to work their way up the system. So they don't have time to date, or it doesn't seem like dating's feasible. It says, to me, this signals a real shift. Connection is no longer something people pursue spontaneously. It's something that they have a budget for, justify, and sometimes opt out of entirely. This is according to a financial analyst. That can make people more intentional, but it can also make dating more limited and unequal. Okay. And it says right here, with these new economic pressures have created is an unavoidable friction. People, as he noted, want to be more intentional about dating in person. Dating events were on the rise in 2025. Not with men, though. Is dating turning into a luxury exclusively for the rich? Now, when I came up with the luxury dating strategies, I tell you, people laughed at me. Luxury dating? And I said, yes, dating is monetized. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. people laughed at me. I swear to God, I was too far ahead of the game. So it says, has dating become a luxury exclusively for the rich? Let me show you again. I'm copying and pasting a link from my phone, showing you my course here related to the monetized dating marketplace. Luxury dating strategies. Now, how does this affect men and women? Well, the problem is women, when they're young, can get access to these dates, whereas men cannot. So that means there's going to be an imbalance for women. Women can circumvent this by going to what we call monetized dating marketplaces. Okay, so they can go to sugar babying, right? As an example, or they can go to some of these type of places where they can get dates. So luxury relationship strategies, mastering the monetized dating marketplace. I've been on front of this, way ahead of this. And dudes are still trying to define what it is. Well, it's just, okay, guys, let me see in this article if they call it. You're right. If that makes you feel better and sleep at night and make you feel better for not busting up, it is what it is. Is dating turning into a luxury exclusively for the rich? This is Seeking Arrangement CEO. Oh, no. New world order. So what did they turn to? They went and turned to the monetized dating marketplace to get the answer. Y'all still trying to argue if it's a prostitution, if it's illegal. And look at what this media source turned to figure out if dating is a luxury exclusively for the rich. Let's see what he said. CEO of dating site Seeking. It says dating site, by the way. I've been saying that for years. It's just a dating site for young generation of generation women. They just look at it as another dating site. It says right here, he sees it. You shouldn't date if you can't afford it. Unless we have achieved a level of financial security to provide, how do we love? You're not loving and giving from a place of abundance. You're giving from a place of lack. Oh my goodness. Woo! Men from Gen Z to Gen X especially seem to be opting out of the process. The narrative, primarily centered around straight relationships, that's heterosexual, has become increasingly common across social media as people feel the pinch. All right, a single father and an amateur musician posted a video of the high cost that he's seen, noting that he stopped dating 18 months ago. He says, I feel like I've got more control of my finances. Another guy says, I can't be dating in this economy. Not only am I spending $80 for a tank of gas, I'm driving 45 minutes to an hour to go see people for a date night. This is before, see, this is when people call this free. See, when people say dating is free, this person really just intuitively said, no, it's not. I got to put gas in the tank. That's part of the dating process. Then he said, drop $80 to $100 per date. That's not necessarily just for the food. He said, like, what's going on? I just did that 2 nights in a row. Hell no. Watch this. Uh-oh. It says that pinch may also in part explain why sugar baby discourse and the economic realities of dating have recently captured the zeitgeist. What did they say? In essence, this is why we see more prevalence of sugar babies, because of the dating marketplace is monetized. Y'all cannot with me on this, bro. I was ahead of the curve. I've been telling you this for years. I saw it. I experienced it. I was like, this is going to replace regular dating. Zeitgeist. Thank you. This is going to replace regular dating. Once women figure this out and men figure this out, it's going to make regular dating hard. Come on, man. And it's going to lead to more people dropping out. Therefore, creating what? An opportunity for, where's that video I had of those young women in Miami? Those guys are going to price out the guys at the bottom. And more women are going to explore it. What do I say? All women have thought of or have done it. And they're not going to deal with you out here trying to define it as prostitution. It says over the past few months, de-evolution. Over the past few months, sugar babies have sprung from a cultural footnote to a prestige TV subplot on the HBO series Euphoria and its items in prime time news reports. Sorry. In April, the Department of Homeland Security employee was put on leave after the Daily Mail investigation claimed she had a profile on Seeking, which has a reputation of dating platforms for sugar baby relationships. According to the company, they have this one right here, over 1 million active users. The investigation alleged that The woman who went by Alyssa, someone who is flirty and fun and fond of sultry spaces, mysterious lounges and velvet shadows, wine in hand, according to her bio. She met her ex first on Hinge, and after the relationship soured, when the ex stops agreeing to buy her everything, she found her on Seeking. Sorry, I'm trying to just skip through it here. So you're seeing now the spectrum. So they're saying, yeah, the woman was regular dating on Hinge, but she also was doing this on Seeking. It's now common. If they don't stamp it out early, it's going to continue to thrive. It says right here, let's continue. If dating turns into a luxury that only the few can afford, that means even basic human connection, the kind of connection that we deeply crave, will be harder to access. Man, give me my goddamn flowers. Give me my goddamn flowers, bruh. Come on, man. Y'all heard me calling this since I wrote the book, The Evolution, and I've been calling this hardcore since 2022. Like, calling it. Not just trying to manipulate it. Some dudes try to act like, oh, I'm only there to manipulate it. I'm only there to try to get free from women that... I've been calling this. Is going to make it harder to access. You can be depressed by this information, but I don't see people saying this should be illegal. We need to stop it. We need to ban these sites. That's not how they're positioning this. Neither are the women on the site. Okay. This is why we got it going on. It says right here, if dating turns into a luxury that only the few can afford, that means even the basic human connection, the kind of connection that we deeply crave, will be harder to access feasibly when people need it the most. But maybe that's just the new price of companionship in 2026. An increasing tax that leaves people with one option. Men who can't afford to date are forced to opt out entirely, and women will only date up. It reflects how performative dating has become. We've created an expectation that romance has to look expensive to count. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. I told you, man, people are like, this ain't gonna be the norm. It ain't gonna be. And then they always bring up some exception to the rule, or I hook up for free. And I'm like, that doesn't mean that the general population is doing that. You might be doing that, but that's going to be the exception. You're arguing exception to the rule. Most people aren't doing that or going to be successful doing that. And it's not going to change. According to this quick article right here, I've been telling you this will be normal. Gen Z says dating officially too expensive. One bad date could cost you hundreds. That's the risk men don't want to take. So even going on a date, he says, what if it's a bad date? Even the women are saying, why do I have to get my hair, nails done, get all olive laid up, put my cocoa butter in, put my wig on tight, put on a dress? That's going to cost. Why go on a date? Why get all dolled up for him to not lead and not want to pay the full tab? This is where people are right now. The only thing keeping this together is the JUCO. By the way, this group of people would have been married 40 years ago, but they're out here still trying to date. What happens to women? They get their bubble burst, a reality check, and the men look at it and say, that's cost too much. So what do? They try to get it for free, or they'll say she gave it up for free to another guy he knows, so I should get it for free too. And then women that shouldn't be getting dinner dates want dinner dates from guys that can't afford dinner dates. I mean, it's very tough. Now, we're not going to read this part, but I'm going to read some comments here related to this post so you can see what's happening here. Shout out to LL Cool Cheese here. Give me the comments. Oh, comments are down here. This one says, got to get creative. Every date doesn't have to be an expensive steakhouse. See, this is the people are missing it. Again, people miss it when they argue like that. That's a person arguing that that's the first date. Okay, but eventually she's going to want expensive steakhouse here and there, onesie twosie. When a relationship exists, that's why people don't want to invest in the first date. This says each gender needs to date people that actually like them. Here's the argument: date someone you actually like. How do I know if they like me until I meet them? Right? How do I know that they like me unless I meet the person? Stop treating love and relationships so transactionally. Normies, this is not happening. This is not the wave. If you can't lose out on a couple of hundred, you probably shouldn't be dating to begin with. Okay, so this is if you're broke, you can't afford to date. Well, that plays into the hands of what the article said. Men will be priced out. Men who have it will win. This one says church on Sunday morning is free, ecclesiastically. So we have the religious argument. Then we have both sides should stop putting expectations on it. There was another one that said here, find someone who suits your pocket. Chili's for $50. Starbucks is right here. Grab a coffee, tea, or water with a pastry and get to know each other. Now we got the Starbucks date. Okay, that works for date number 1. You get into the date number 2, 3. You're eventually going to go out to eat. Or we'll just have her come to your house and eat. Food costs money. Or like, what are we doing? They act like the date is not going to escalate eventually to some sort of crescendo where money's going to get spent. So I'm going to go to Starbucks, and we're just going to go to Starbucks from here on out. See, this is where the normies lose the argument. Bring back the drive-in movies. Here comes the bring back. Let's go back. Rewind the hands of times. I'm telling you, man, people are missing. They're missing it. These aren't solutions. All right, but good luck, which means is everybody would have to agree socially that that's what we're doing. Just like we're agreeing that women are sugar babies and they're sugar daddy. We have to accept and agree that. We can't get everybody to agree to Starbucks. We can't get everybody to agree. We can't get everybody to agree to turn back the hands of time and go to drive-thrus. We can't get everybody to agree that it shouldn't be transactional. We've ditched that already. We've already ditched that. Okay. We can't get people to agree on that. We can get women to agree that if they have $350 in their pocket, they'll come suck it after a dinner date, not even a dinner date. We've agreed to that. Right. But the whole idea of this, we need to go back to something here or just take every woman to Starbucks while she's going on dates. We got Miles Iggy says, went with my Ling Ling's wife. Oh, you went with your Ling wife to our favorite LA restaurant last night, 5 years ago. The place was full of couples, but this time we were the only couple in the place. Tables had groups of guys and groups of girls, no couples at all. Dating is priced out. It's real in LA. Shout out to you. And that's true. Have you ever go out today? Go out and see a restaurant today. You're not going to find many people on dates, man and woman. You're going to find groups of women. Even when I was in Costa Rica, I filmed it. I was like, look at this. This was a popping restaurant. They were doing karaoke. Music was bumping. And it was only 3 tables that had a man and a woman. The rest of them were groups of people, happy hour or whatever they were at there for, night, evening. Most people are not going on dates like that. And people don't remember in the 90s, like he's saying, it would be just couples. We used to call it the middleman. We used to say the restaurant was all right, where you'd have to go to the restaurant and then you have to go get all right. But today, mostly women going out. Men aren't even going out, not even to eat by themselves, not even with other groups of dudes. They're not going out. I took a Ling Ling out in Las Vegas. I do have a video of this. I was like, damn, I got to record this. Damn, I'm about to find it too. And this was Las Vegas, but when we were at dinner, it was only dudes. It was only dudes at the table. It was just groups of men. All right. And maybe a couple of couples. All right. So let's see here. I don't want to put somebody's shit out here. All right. So this is the table I was sitting at right here. But it was Vegas. So this is the table I'm sitting at. Group of guys, all dudes. Okay. Let me see if I can go ahead. Right there. The next table, group of guys. And they sitting where couples would sit. Group of dudes right there. All right, that's the next table over. This one had a couple, but they were older. Okay, older couple. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it too, that the table next to them has a group of guys as well. You can see it in between the waiters. No, they're not gay, bro. Well, Las Vegas, people are coming for conventions. They're not coming with their wives. But I see this all the time, even when I go out at the JUCO. All right, there's a couple right there. And they're sitting in places where you would normally go sit with your date. But dudes aren't taking women out on dates like that. Definitely not to get to know. You know what I mean? Let's see here. That was, let me see. I didn't get the whole thing. All right, anyway. But that's an example. He said, Las Vegas, you can trick legally. No, you can't. All right. You cannot, guys. It's not legal in Las Vegas to do anything like that. People get that wrong. Prostitution is not legal in Las Vegas. All right. It is. If you want to pay for in Las Vegas, it is definitely illegal. All right. So don't get caught in Las Vegas thinking you can solicit and vice undercover cop cuff your ass up real quick. It's only legal in places where the population is below 30,000. And also, let me see here. I think the population has to be below 30,000. So Pahrump and that. All right. But outside of those counties, and it has to be a county, not a city. So it has to be somewhere small. That's why you got to go out to Pahrump, to the, what do they call it? They used to call it the, I've never been there. But you got to drive hour outside of Las Vegas in the middle of the desert. Do not go in the summer, the Bunny Ranch. So that's a different county. Las Vegas is Clark County. You cannot do it in Clark County. Clark County is too big. Las Vegas is a part of Clark County. So you have to go outside of that. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean you can't buy none here. It's buyable. You just can get arrested if you approach and solicit a cop dressed like a hooker. You going to jail. Does it happen a lot? I would say no. I would say more women get rounded up than men related to this. More women get rounded up on this than men. So I haven't heard of many men getting busted for this, but it's not like I researched it. You probably can get busted, but I'm just saying it's not legal. So don't come here thinking it's legal to just go solicit women and buy some off the street or do any of that. Vice is going to throw your ass in jail. All right. But you got to go an hour outside to go get you some Las Vegas anyway, or some Nevada.
Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor.